Every single successful person you know that makes millions or billions of dollars does this one thing, whether they know it or not. It's called dopamine stacking, and it's literally the easiest way to get addicted to working and doing the hard things. And the best part is it only takes 5 minutes. It leverages the addiction principle by manipulating your neurochemistry, and it makes getting rich basically inevitable. You probably know that you can watch Netflix for 12, 15 hours, YouTube for maybe even longer, and you can scroll on Instagram to your heart's desires. And what this basically shows is that you naturally have an obsessive personality. And the thing is, this is actually the biggest advantage that you can have because 99% of people don't actually have this obsessive personality. That's why they can't play video games or watch Netflix or YouTube or Instagram for as long as you can. All you essentially have to do is leverage your neurochemistry that's already basically set up for addiction and get addicted to what makes you money. Now, what exactly is dopamine stacking? The easiest way that I can demonstrate this for you is with this graph here. So here you have dopamine release. And then down here, you have time as it elapses throughout the day. The thing is, for most people, they have multiple spikes of dopamine. And if you don't know what dopamine is, it's basically the motivation neurotransmitter in your brain that basically indicates to your brain when it needs to eat, when it needs to sleep, whether or not it should keep playing video games or keep watching YouTube, whatever the hell it is. It's what conditions your brain to keep doing the things that you do that reward you positively and stop doing the things that punish you negatively. The thing is, for most people, the things that they do throughout the day, they essentially use artificial means of boosting dopamine, like, scrolling on Instagram or video games or watching YouTube, so on and so forth. And because they do this, their dopamine spikes at random times throughout the day. And so when they need to work, which isn't as rewarding as, video games or so on and so forth, they find it very hard to do because they have this baseline set up here. So doing anything that's under it, like work, is extremely hard for them to do. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to tell you like every other person and their grandmother to quit all this shit, even though I've been part of that camp for a long time. I think it's very beneficial if you do. All you need to do is stack all the dopamine at one time of the day. That way your brain is actually neurochemically manipulated to doing the hard things at different times of the day and doing the enjoyable things at a different time of the day. Now again, the examples that I gave before are video games. You got YouTube, Instagram, even having a heavy carb meal is a very good example of something that releases dopamine. A lot of people, they have their meal and there's so many carbs in it, potatoes or fried shit, whatever. And after that, they're basically done for the day. They can't work because again, their dopamine levels have been so heightened, they can't really go down again. So this is basically what you do throughout the day. And this is what every single successful person does. Either they fully eliminate the dopamine or they stack it at a certain time of the day. Or even if you're smart, you can do it throughout a different time in the week or the year. So basically you block out this time either early in the morning or late at night, preferably late at night. This is what usually works for most people. And then you stack all the dopamine then. But before that, between like 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. all the way to this time, whether it's 5 p.m., so on and so forth, you have this block of time where your dopamine is very low. That means that you basically consume no form of dopamine except for the work that needs to be done. The work is the only thing that you can do, and it's the only thing that actually motivates you, that you're actually motivated to do in this time. So essentially all you need to do is you need to block everything in this time that you work. That way your neurochemistry is set to where you can only get dopamine, you can only get rewarded from the thing that's going to make you money, which is the work that you need to do. Now, if there's stuff that you really need to use, like YouTube or so on and so forth, a very good tactic that I've found is that you can basically just grayscale it. Now there's many extensions, many apps that you can use to block stuff in your work block. There's cold turkey blocker, but the principle is you want to eliminate it so that it's inaccessible. Second thing that you want to do, and this is just a micro tactic, is that if there's stuff that you actually do need, like let's say you want to watch a YouTube video, so on and so forth, about something tactical, like, oh, how do I fix my Facebook pixel? Because again, you're going to be working on what makes you money. Grayscale the stuff that you actually want to use. The thing is, everything about the platforms that you're addicted to, Netflix, YouTube, Instagram, whatever the hell it is, video games, they're made to be as rewarding as possible. You can artificially lower the amount of dopamine you get from it. Like try watching a video in 480p. A lot of people can't even watch a video in, less than 1.5x speed because their neurotransmitters are just so used to being rewarded so quickly. A lot of people can't even finish a song. And again, that's indicative of the fact that you have an obsessive personality. All you need to do is just leverage it for the right things. So again, grayscaling the stuff that you need or lowering the amount of dopamine that you get from it is the second step. The third step is to break down what you actually need to do. This is to ensure that the work that you need to be doing is easier to do than nothing, right? Because if you are so conditioned to basically be in this state where you're artificially dopaminated, if that's even a word, you're basically going to find it very hard to do work and you're just going to do literally nothing instead. You're going to prefer doing nothing over actually doing the work that makes you money. But when you make the work easier to do than nothing, your work gives you more dopamine than just sitting around and doing jack shit. And that happens when you have a clear plan and idea of what you need to do. And if it's revenue generating, this is so important. What you do has to be revenue generating. 99% of the time, I'm going to write this out just as it is advertising, something related to reaching out to people, making your product or service known. This is what 99% of businesses have as their constraint. They're just not telling enough people about their stuff. And the thing is, if you actually do what makes you money, and upon doing it, you get rewarded by getting a heap of cash in your bank account, what's going to happen? You're going to get dopamine as a result of that, and then you're going to get positively reinforced to keep doing it. And then you basically want to set a forcing trigger to start work. Now, this topic by itself is a whole nother video, but basically the point is that you want either a set time or some sort of, again, forcing trigger that ensures that you start when you need to start, right? Whether it's at 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. And then you can leverage your obsessive personality to effortlessly do the work in the time that you need to do it. The reason why most people procrastinate or set things off, push things back that are going to negatively reinforce them or that are hard is because they don't have this forcing trigger. Now, what we do with the entrepreneurs that we work with is we actually gamify the system. You can use streaks, you can use a whole bunch of other stuff to basically make sure that the work that you need to do is the literal easiest thing and the most rewarding thing that you do every day. That includes gamification. And this is such a powerful principle that it's literally illegal for 99% of the population. And this happens when you're getting live feedback every instant that you work. And this is something that we provide to entrepreneurs 24/7 on demand. And this is probably the most powerful thing that you can implement. And I've recorded a video on this. And again, this by itself is a whole nother topic that's going to take a whole nother video to explain. But again, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do to make the work more rewarding than it is. So again, it increases your dopamine threshold. So the work is actually more rewarding than it would be if you're on your own. Because the thing is this, right? When you have, it's all about this discrepancy right here. How high is your dopamine peak and how low is your dopamine trough or your bottom, right? What you want to do is you want to minimize this as much as possible. If you can get this whole thing closer up to this height, it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier for you to do the hardest things that actually make you money. And I promise you, if you learn how to do this consistently, getting rich is going to be easy and inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like the video, like the video. If you are an entrepreneur, you want to add 30 to 50K new revenue, we are giving our entire live accountability system away for free. We only have a few spots available. The next batch of entrepreneurs that we're starting this focus challenge with is starting soon. And we leverage all the principles that I just told you about to basically make work as effortless as possible. And again, we only work with entrepreneurs that we can guarantee a return for. If you want to see if you qualify, the link will be down below in the description. Don't get mad at a CTA. It's free for everybody else. I hope this was helpful. Ciao.